NBC Tonight.
Now at 11, breaking news. A driver plows into a Dorchester barbershop. The desperate work to free the people trapped inside.
Also tonight, a wild chase stretching through several cities and towns. The getaway going from the fairway to a busy highway.
An officer injured there where it started and dragged along the way.
And 7 News is there as the chase comes to a fiery end.
And all of a sudden, the car came flying by. It was smoke, fire.
We have night team coverage of the wild ride.
Then, it actually felt like spring today, but you want to bundle up at the bus stop tomorrow morning.
Take a look at this. A customer confrontation caught on camera at a Leominster restaurant. What police are saying about this food fight.
And setting the bar high. 3 brothers with a marijuana mission.
How they say it could end up helping children.
7 News at 11 starts now.
And we begin at 11 with breaking news. A destructive drive in Mattapan. An SUV slams into a barbershop, and some people inside got pinned.
And then some people who saw the crash raced in to help out. Nick Emmons live in Mattapan with breaking details for us. Nick?
Yeah, Adam, Kim, terrifying moments here earlier this evening around 7:30 tonight here on Morton Street. I want to step aside so you can see some of the damage here. What we're told is 3 people were injured when that driver slammed an SUV right through the front of Primo's barbershop. Crews now boarding up for the night. Witnesses saying it's amazing no one was killed. Cell phone video captures the chaos after an SUV plows through a busy barbershop. People screaming for help, trying to push the Jeep off of a person trapped underneath the vehicle.
Oh, damn.
Leo Joseph and his friend Dwayne say they were just steps from Primo's barbershop at the time of the crash and recorded these tense moments.
I saw a lot of people started running towards it. I started walking towards it, and that's when I started helping pull it, so I started helping pull the car back.
It was just glass all over the place. A lot of people was yelling, and there's a lot of just confusion. Everybody was just trying to make sure the guy wasn't moving, so he won't, because he was in shock.
Neighbors shocked to walk out and see the destruction, knowing just how bad it could be.
It's amazing because I know in the evening a lot of gentlemen congregate there, and either friends of the owners or whatever. They have a good business over there, and it could have been a lot worse than what it was. And back out here live again, you can see the extensive damage here done to Primo's barbershop. Many questions remain as of right now as to how something like this could have happened. The investigation is ongoing. What we're told is that no arrests have been made. Live in Mattapan, Nick Emmons, 7 News Night Team.
Tonight on 7, an officer dragged into danger when a driver takes off.
Get us a car up here! Get us a car up here! Crowd, let go!
It's a wild chase from Walpole to West Roxbury.
And then we saw this car on fire.
The chaos fueled by flames. Tonight, the fiery end to this hot pursuit.
The chase stretched 26 miles through several cities and towns.
The Abington man accused of being at the center of it all, now facing attempted murder charges. From the start of this wild ride to the dramatic ending, we have night team coverage. Let's get started with Tim Caputo live in West Roxbury.
Yeah, Kim, this wild chase finally came to an end in this parking lot behind me, mostly because that car by that point was undrivable. But even without a car, that suspect wasn't ready to give up.
Swerving, speeding, and doing everything in his power to avoid arrest. A driver zigzagged through traffic at times, going more than 80 miles an hour, narrowly avoiding hitting cars while leading police on a chase through several towns. This morning's high-speed pursuit began at the top of this dam in Walpole. 2 officers approached the car to ask why the driver was parked there, and he took off.
Get us a car up here! Get us a car up here! Crowd, let go! All available cars still in a wash. All available cars still in a wash to the dam over the hill.
Walpole officer Matt Crown had his hand on the window when the driver sped away. In the police radio transmission, you could hear his partner yelling for help as Officer Crown was dragged about 100 yards alongside the car.
The car took off, crowded down the hill.
Officer Crown wasn't seriously hurt, and less than a minute later, he confirmed he was okay.
Officer Crown, what's your status? I'm fine. Going back to my car now.
The suspect, identified as Mike LeBlanc of Abington, first drove through a golf course.
The suspect then got onto some of the greens at the Walpole Country Club.
Do we have a direction of travel? Last time I saw him back, he was on the fairway.
And when he hit the open road, he swerved in and out of cars on 128, 95, side roads, parking lots, and even grass. The car couldn't take the abuse, so LeBlanc finally ditched it behind some stores in West Roxbury.
The car was smoking crazy, and then all of a sudden it went into flames, and then it burst. You know, it made a loud noise.
LeBlanc then ran inside a nearby apartment building, frantically knocking on people's doors.
I opened the door, cracked, and he had like a bunch of money in his hand. He kept saying, "Please let me in, let me in." He was trying to get me to take money to let him in the apartment. And then I pushed the door shut, and I called 911.
By then, a virtual army of officers who had been part of the pursuit converged on the building, and LeBlanc was arrested. As for why he led them on such a long chase, police believe LeBlanc might have been trying to hurt himself.
It may have been a suicide by cop type of situation. He actually asked the officers what he has to do to get shot by the police.
Police say they recovered a bag with some burglary tools inside. They also believe LeBlanc may have been involved in an armed robbery from earlier this week. He is scheduled to appear in court tomorrow to face charges in this high-speed chase. We're live tonight in West Roxbury. Tim Caputo, 7 News 19.
The chase leading to some serious danger on duty for that Walpole police officer. He was dragged about 300 feet before he was able to free himself from that car. Tonight, he's home from the hospital. Susan Tran continues our coverage live from Walpole. Susan?
And Adam, he is recovering at home, and after being dragged and taking a tumble, his family is grateful he's okay.
Before the car went up in flames and the wild high-speed chase, police say Michael LeBlanc tried to kill Officer Matt Crown, dragging him the length of a football field.
He suddenly turned the vehicle on and immediately closed the window, which pinned the officer's hand inside of the motor vehicle.
Officer Crown and another Walpole officer went to talk to the suspect after finding his car oddly parked.
The suspect then accelerated, got up to about 30 miles per hour, dragged Officer Crown for about close to 300 feet before his arm came out of the window.
But that didn't stop the 30-year-old former Army Ranger.
After he stopped rolling from being dislodged from the car, he ran back to his cruiser, and him and another officer got in the cruiser and pursued that vehicle.
The details, no surprise to Officer Crown's parents, who say he's a special guy who's always been driven and striving to be the best. His mom says she got a call right after the incident telling her not to worry. She may see some scary details on the news, but he's fine and headed to the hospital. Officer Crown ended up with bumps and bruises, but no broken bones. And he's earned the praise not only from his proud parents, but his command staff at work.
He does an outstanding job. Very difficult situation that he was involved with today, and we're very glad that he's going to be okay.
Now, we asked Officer Crown tonight when he should be back at work here at Walpole Police, and he says he hopes to have those answers tomorrow. We're live in Walpole tonight. Susan Tran, 7 News 19.
And those who saw that car just zigging and zagging from a golf course to a quiet neighborhood were simply stunned. 19's Ryan Schulteis in Dedham with what some of those witnesses were thinking.
And Kim, you can imagine how terrifying it was for people who live in this quiet neighborhood with that car zooming down the street here and the car literally falling apart. The chaos of the crash shattered the peace and quiet here at the Walpole Country Club.
I actually looked right at him when he drove right by me, and he had, he just had headphones on. It looked like he was listening to music on headphones, and he just flew right by.
The wild ride left tire tracks from the 9th fairway to the 10th, through a parking lot to the first tee between two bunkers, reaching speeds of 50 miles an hour.
And he came down here, in between the rock and the tree.
There was no serious damage to the course and no golfers were hurt.
This is his lens, and part of that side was on fire when he came by.
More than 13 miles away, a quiet Dedham neighborhood is rocked as the suspect barrels through, his car falling apart.
We were working in the front of the house, and we heard the grinding, and then all of a sudden the car came flying by. It was smoke, fire near the wheels and stuff, making all sorts of racket, no inflated tires, just riding on the rims.
People who live here confused by the chaos.
It took me a minute for it to register exactly what was happening.
We've lived here for, 50-something years. Nothing like that ever happens here.
Neighbors thought it was some sort of chase. They heard sirens in the distance, but they didn't see anybody chasing him. Despite the debris and high speeds, no one was hurt.
It's really frightening because this is a quiet road and all our kids play on it and everything else. And once again, despite the speeds and the damage there, no one was hurt here. Well, I'm in Dedham. Ryan Schulteis, 7 News 19.
When this story broke, we sent out an alert through our 7 News mobile app where you can continue to follow this story as we learn more.
Just one station there today for the emotional reunion between a missing boy and his mother. That child wandered off into the woods while his mom was putting her other child into a car seat this morning. That 3-year-old boy's disappearance leading to an all-out search today. And tonight, he's back home with his family. But police and neighbors searched the area for about an hour, and then finally, someone saw the little guy standing in a creek in the woods.
Probably about 80, 90, 100 feet into the wood line, in the woods, standing in water, I see the face staring out at me. So I continued to run into the woods, picked the boy up, and brought him out to the curb's edge.
The boy wasn't hurt, and his parents are just so relieved he's home safe.
Turning now to the race for the White House, the war for women voters is heating up as Republican candidate Ted Cruz makes a major announcement. The Texas senator named Carly Fiorina his vice presidential running mate, should he become the nominee. Cruz says the former GOP candidate's strength is a weakness of his rivals.
My opponent in this race, Donald Trump, like Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders, looks to government as the answer to every problem. Carly knows firsthand from decades in the business world where jobs come from.
The addition to the ticket comes on the heels of Donald Trump's clean sweep of primaries last night. Trump today made a foreign policy address. It was more of a formal speech than what he usually gives, using a teleprompter. He stressed putting America first. He blasted immigration policies, the current ones, and expressed skepticism of international agreements. On the Democratic side, Bernie Sanders making changes tonight after Hillary Clinton's near sweep last night. He announced his campaign will lay off hundreds of staff members. He says the large staff is no longer needed at this point in the campaign.
Former Speaker of the House Dennis Hastert sentenced to 15 months behind bars. In a wheelchair, Hastert admitted to moving money illegally to pay off victims. He also admitted molesting children he was coaching when he was in his 20s and 30s. The statute of limitations on those crimes has expired.
Coming up next, a breakfast brawl.
Huge fight inside a local Denny's, caught on camera, and the violence doesn't end there.
On a marijuana mission, local brothers hoping to let people see a different side of the drug, one that could even help sick children.
More sunshine for tomorrow. Chilly morning commute forecast coming up next.
Some good news tonight after a huge response to this special little girl from the Cape. An update on Officer Leah ahead.
And it's Giselle and Jimmy. But did the topic of Tom come up when they talked on The Tonight Show? We'll have a preview next on 7 News at 11.
Police called in to break up a food fight at a local Denny's. This customer confrontation escalated quickly, and it ended with a grand slam by officers.
Could say that. Tonight, 2 people are in custody, but the search for one suspect is still not over. The night team's Kimberly Bookman live in Leominster to tell us more. Kimberly?
Adam, police say 3 men started this fight, 2 against 1. They're not sure why, but they say it did create chaos. It's the kind of dining experience that would leave a bad taste in anyone's mouth. Customers at the Denny's in Leominster picking up chairs from their tables, swinging them, slamming them, and even hitting one another with them. This video taken by a customer 2:30 Saturday morning when police say 3 men began to brawl. As you can see, the fight erupted and many more got in on the action. The restaurant manager decided to close early to get people out of the building. A call was made to police to help clear people out, but officers say crowds were so large, so rowdy, the entire Leominster Police Department's midnight shift was needed to control the place. That's when police say 3 men behind the counter wouldn't move and started arguing with officers. This man, Luis Rojas, allegedly spit on the officer's boots. A police report explains the officers tried to arrest Rojas, but he wouldn't cooperate, holding back his arms and flailing around. The video clearly captures police getting him to the ground and cuffing him as he says, "I didn't do anything wrong," while carried out to a cruiser. Police also arrested Brandon Sanchez for trying to open the cruiser door and let Rojas out. Now 2 men in custody, but neither believed to be the ones that started the original violence, served up with coffee and eggs. So again, 2 men arrested, police still looking for the original 3 they believe started this food fight. Reporting live from Leominster, Kimberly Bookman, 7 News, 19.
All right, another nice, warm, I shouldn't say another because yesterday was like not that great. So
You're just thinking positive.
I'm just thinking that we're going to have more
We
great
are.
days
We
ahead.
are. Chilly nights, nice days, and I've just been like asking you, can you please make the tree pollen go away?
That is a tough one.
Killer.
If you need a fire hose, wash the pollen out of the air because it's dry until Monday of next week. Perhaps some sprinkles Sunday evening. Right now, the city at 51, Worcester 49, Plymouth at 42. All sorts of dry air, so that pollen's just kind of chillaxing in the air overnight tonight and through the day tomorrow. Clear, chilly, patchy frost. So tomorrow morning, it's like this morning. It gets off to a cold start, but that sun is strong this time of year. It goes to work when you go to work. Brockton 32 tomorrow morning. Duxbury 36. The city around 40. Could be a couple of patches of frost north and south shore, as well as southeast Mass and down through the south coast and the Cape and the islands. High pressure. It's from Canada, so that's why we're talking about these chilly early mornings, but the air is dry, and so we have another nice day tomorrow. Mix of clouds and sunshine. Seasonable with temps tomorrow afternoon 50 to 57. Coolest numbers found at the coastline. City of Boston tomorrow afternoon in the low 50s. Red Sox back at it tomorrow night taking on the Braves. First pitch at 7:10. Mix of clouds and sunshine. And I think a little bit cooler tomorrow evening out at Fenway Park than this evening, with the numbers tomorrow evening in the upper 40s. Now on to Friday. High pressure still with us, but here comes an area of low pressure that will try to nudge high pressure out of the way. But it doesn't work. Old Blue ain't going anywhere. So the best I think that storm can do to our south is toss a couple of clouds up into New England. It is a dry day. There's some sun as well. Temps on Friday, upper 40s at the coast, low 50s. And your weekend gets off to a great start. Lots of sunshine on Saturday. Unfortunately, the area of high pressure does begin to slide away, so that Sunday will feature more clouds. Kim, look away. Tree pollen for the next several days elevated into the high category. Thankfully, we're not advertising temps into the 70s, because if we were, then these little red tubes would go off the charts into the severe category. 7-on-7 forecast. Second half of the weekend. Sunday, again, a lot of clouds, but it's going to be dry Sunday morning for the Walk for Hunger to benefit Project Bread. Adam, Kim, and myself will be down there on Sunday morning at the Common. And invigorating temperatures on Sunday morning, low 40s. Hope to see you there.
Sounds good, Jeremy. All right. They're brothers blazing a trail and setting their sights high. Their mission, seriously, it's to get marijuana to be used to help more people.
And that actually includes children with certain medical problems. 7's Chris Anderson explains how some cutting-edge cannabis could help them.
You have to work very closely in communication with your patient.
This conference at Harvard Medical School is the first of its kind.
The debate should now be about how to provide an access.
Doctors and scholars coming together to figure out if marijuana can be used to treat many different illnesses.
They're saying, we have children who are dying, we have children who are seizing every minute, and they can be helped, potentially helped, and many of them helped by using cannabis.
The center of this gathering, 3 brothers from Woburn who believe marijuana can help people with epilepsy.
They say it's impossible for 3 brothers to work together, and I would say it's almost impossible, but not quite. We have figured it out.
The McKernan brothers, Brian, Brendan, and Kevin, are at the core of a company called Cortigen. Their mission right now, analyze patient DNA samples to determine a treatment course and unlock the DNA of marijuana.
These 2 industries are colliding, and they're both rapid growth industries. They're probably 2 of the most high growth industries in our country right now.
There's 2 different types of chips that we sequence on.
Kevin knows DNA. He spent years working with the original crew that mapped the human genome at MIT 10 years ago.
And that allows us to actually image each one of
they're using that breakthrough to focus on genes tied to neurological disorders, like epilepsy.
It looks like a starry night. Well, every one of those stars is a little piece of DNA.
Scientists have mapped the human genome, but no one has mapped marijuana, yet. So elsewhere in the lab, Kevin is exploring marijuana DNA to learn which strains of the plant work best for treatment.
Right now we're just doing fingerprints to get us a sense that you have a signature of what these things are, but we don't know what all the genes do yet.
Medical marijuana isn't appropriate for everyone, but the brothers say it's made a difference in these young lives.
There's clearly no doubt that there are medical benefits to cannabis for certain patients under certain conditions, and we need to learn how, why, when, where, who. And that's what we're trying to do.
Now, most people think of medical marijuana as something you smoke, but the children getting this experimental treatment for epilepsy take the marijuana as a liquid extract that does not contain the molecules that cause the high. In the newsroom, Chris Anderson, 7 News.
And it's a step in the right direction for the youngest member of the Yarmouth Police Force, Junior Officer Leah, standing tall today, recovering from her 10th spinal surgery in just 3 years. Her mom says she's several inches taller and thanks Yarmouth Police for all their support. You might remember last week, police department asked people to send cards or toys to her. just wanted to raise her spirits, and you can see she had a couple of shots there with big smiles on her face, so it looks like it's working. And you can still send Leah a card. Find the address on our website, WHDH.com.
All right. Lots to talk about in sports, and Joe standing by with 7 Sports next.
Shake the hips. Shake the hips.
You recognize her? It's Gisele Bündchen strutting her stuff on The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon. Mrs. Tom Brady sitting down with Fallon to talk fashion. Again, that's coming up in just minutes, but not sure if she talked about any of Tom's trouble with the commissioner or any of that. So she'll be on right after 7 News at 11:30 right here on 7.
And now, time for 7 Sports with Joe Amorosino.
The Red Sox beating up on the last place Braves for a 3rd straight night. Atlanta has a total of 4 wins through 21 games. That's the worst in baseball, and the Sox taking advantage, moving up in the AL East standings, now just a half game out of 1st place. Top of the 1st, Jackie Bradley Jr. gets busy with the leather, running down this sinking Daniel Castro liner. Just par for the course out there with JBJ at this point. Sox led 2-1 in the 2nd inning. Bases packed for Dustin Pedroia. He unloads him, dinging one off Pesky's pole. Pedroia's 3rd career grand slam. And if you think David Ortiz was pumped up, take a look at Brock Holt and Clay Buchholz.
Right. Back
Yeah,
to middle,
yep,
back to left,
that happened.
middle.
Those guys are dancing together.
pretty easy to pick.
Enjoy that. Pedroia giving them some more cause to get loose in the 8th, launching his 2nd long ball of the night, 3rd on the year. Red Sox cruise to their 4th straight win, overall 9-4 the final. With the Celtics season on the line, Isaiah Thomas is not going to let a mild ankle sprain keep him out of a do-or-die Game 6 against the Hawks tomorrow night over at the Garden. His coach says he should be ready to go, and Thomas hopes his teammates will be ready as well.
Put 2 or 3 guys on me every time I touch the ball, and their game plan was to let the other guys beat us. It should be a sign of disrespect to my teammates for them to put 2 on the ball every time I have it. Other guys have to step up and make plays, and that's what it comes down to. If they try to do it again in Game 6, it comes down to other guys making plays.
To the surprise of no one, there is no sign that the NFL and Tom Brady will engage in settlement talks over the quarterback's recently restored 4-game Deflategate suspension. Roger Goodell reiterating today that he has no interest in going down that road.
Not at all. In fact, I think the most important thing from the ruling is that the judgment that the district court made last summer was incorrect. And they obviously reversed that. They reinforce our authority here, and they reinforce the fact that we have the facts correct, that it was a fair process, and that we came to a conclusion that they supported. So from our standpoint, we think that's the right decision, and frankly should have been the decision last summer.
Jay Heaps and the Revolution hosting Portland. They trailed the Timbers 1-0 in the 89th minute. But Javon Watson gets a little help on the equalizer, banking it off defender Jermaine Taylor. Revs squeak out a 1-1 draw thanks to that own goal. And the NFL draft gets underway tomorrow at 8 p.m. The Patriots do not have a first-round pick. They are scheduled to make their first selections on Friday, beginning with picks number 60 and 61. That's sports.
All right, Joe, thank you.
And here's Jimmy with You Know Who on The Tonight Show.
Hey guys, Gisele Bündchen is my guest tonight. Plus, we have Matt Lauer, music from Fitz and the Tantrums. It's a great show. Do not change the channel. It's fun.
So should we talk about the weather or Gisele?
Well, let's just say that the weather is nice tomorrow, so we hope you get out and enjoy that.
Good.
And then Gisele, will she talk about Goodell?
That's the money question. She's done some crazy things with Jimmy Fallon before, but will she spill the beans?
I don't know. He'll walk the catwalk. We saw that. But she's pretty diplomatic. I'm thinking no, but we'll all stay tuned and find out.
We'll have clips for you tomorrow. On what
yeah,
she
that's true,
said
too.
or
If you have to
didn't
go to
say.
bed now, we'll have that for you tomorrow if anything good happens. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Kim Casey.
I'm Adam Williams. The news continues at 5 a.m. with Today in New England. Make it a great night.